in one of the papers that you wrote, I found this very interesting. You say that according to Medscape Medical News, the prescribing information for two respiratory syncytial RSV vaccines, that is RXV and
Yes,
Abri-SVO, is that how you pronounce it?
Abrysvo.
Will now include a warning for the increased risk for Guillain-Barré syndrome within
That's
42
right.
days of the vaccination based on data from the post-marketing research. I was now just thinking, Guillain-Barré syndrome, we actually, some of these diseases, we thought they were like just a natural or inherited type of a gene from, your lineage or something like that. But only to realize that most of these diseases have actually been caused by the medicines that have been given to people over the years. What's your take on that, Dr. Kevin?
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought that up because these RSV vaccines that the FDA required the manufacturers to put the warning about Guillain-Barré syndrome in there. These are traditional vaccines. They are not mRNA technology vaccines. What they're doing is they're injecting an antigen or a foreign protein that's part of the RSV virus inside of you. And they're expecting an antibody to be created against that protein. And it will eventually, but it takes about 2 weeks for that to happen. So you got to ask yourself, what happens to those proteins in that 2-week waiting period? Well, they're biologically active proteins. What does that mean? That means that they are going to attach to cellular receptors. They are not going to be willingly taken in by your body cells. They are going to attach themselves to receptors and just sit there and block those receptors. Well, your immune system is going to react to that. It's going to destroy those cells with neutrophils and macrophages in an inflammatory way. It secretes cytokines that are going to actually physically destroy those cells. So what cells are we talking about? We're talking about cells that make up the myelin sheaths around nerves and some other cells called oligodendrocytes that are in your brain. So you're injecting yourself with a protein supposedly to prevent a respiratory illness. And what are you doing? You're destroying nerve tissue. And yes, that can result in Guillain-Barré syndrome. This is not good. This is not a good thing.
Now,
And by the way, it's not even mRNA. We're not in the mRNA tough we're talking here. This is just
this is a traditional shot called a vaccine.
Yeah.
Now, remember, the goal of any vaccine is to create an antibody. It takes a couple of weeks to do that. And this goes back to the COVID shot. And you'll remember this.
Yeah.
They told everyone, you are not considered to be vaccinated until what?
2 weeks.
2 weeks after your second shot.
Yes, that's
required for the series.
Yeah.
So what happened? Most of those people who went out and got the shot, and it wasn't 2 weeks since they got it, they were listed as unvaccinated. Let that sink in.